All right, everybody. We all know that we should assume that every gun is loaded until we know better, which is why we press check. Now, with the Ec9s, we have an issue with that. And that is, let's assume that you don't have your safety magazine, this orange piece of plastic, but you do have a loaded magazine. I now have 7 bullets inside of this. How do I know that it's not loaded? Well, we can press check and see that there's nothing in the chamber. And now we remove all of the bullets. But now we still have the issue of I have to clear the trigger, even though I know there's nothing in the chamber. With a stock straight from the factory Ec9s, you can't clear the trigger unless there is a magazine in the chamber. But the smart person inside of me says, okay, wait a minute, there's now 7 bullets inside of that gun. Do I pull the trigger or do I check again? So you could check again, and we see that there's no bullets inside this chamber, which makes it safe to pull the trigger. However, the easier way to do that is to check there's no bullets, release the magazine, and then pull the trigger. But with a standard stock from the factory Ec9s, you have something called a magazine release. Mine is bent because I removed it with a pair of pliers rather than doing it the right way. But what this does is it makes it so that you cannot pull the trigger unless there is a magazine inside the handle. That's what this is for. But if I don't have this, if all I have is this, the smart person inside me says, okay, wait a minute, that's not safe anymore. So the safest thing you can do is to get online and research, how do I remove the magazine release from my Ec9s? Because now I can check and see that there are no bullets inside this handgun. There's no magazine, there's no bullets. I can pull the thing, the safety's not on, and I can safely pull the trigger without anything in there.